Hey, welcome fish tank people. Um, we are now here with my 75. It's been a long time getting here, but I've been planning it and hoping to do it. Then finally, over the last couple of months, I've been really trying to work toward it, getting it and setting it up. It's kind of a long road to get here, but I really wasn't planning on doing 75. I had wanted a 75, and I said, no, it's going to be too big. Don't have the room for it. Had decided I was going to go with a 55 instead. Actually went out last Sunday. I was going to go to 4 stores that are within 45 minutes of where I live and get the tank the 55-gallon tank. And I had broken it all down. Sunday I went to the store, found the 55. It was a 55 with a stand, glass canopies, a light strip for it, and it was around $425. He also had the 75 with a metal stand and the glass canopies for only like $300, and I already had a light, so I was like, I can't justify buying a 55. I was also afraid that if I bought the 55, I'd regret it in a couple months down the road going, damn, why didn't I get the 75? So I just figured to save myself the aggravation, I got the 75. And as you can see, it's set up. No fish yet. We're only on day 6, but I wanted to do this video and kind of talk about the setup process that I went through putting the 75 together. I did do some pictures because I can't, do the work setting it up and try to do the video at the same time. So I did take a lot of pictures while I was setting up the tank. I've posted them over on my page over at Fired Up Fish Tanks. I'm going to put a link down in the descriptions so that if you guys want to go and check out the pictures and see the steps that I did setting it up, you can. But I'm pretty much going to go through it right now and kind of explain to you what I did. Once I got the tank home, got it placed. I had gone out, and this is dirted tank, okay? I decided to take the plunge, do a dirted tank. So I went out to Lowe's, I purchased organic potting mix. I was looking for the Miracle-Gro organic potting mix, which I've seen a million times, and it's like orange and white bag. And I went all over Lowe's, could not find it anywhere. I found all the other Miracle-Gros, but could not find the Miracle-Gro Organic. So they had another brand there called Harvest Organic Potting Mix. So I looked at the ingredients that are in it, and I was like, okay, well, yeah, this will work. So I bought 2 32-quart bags of the potting mix because I didn't know how much I was going to need. Turns out I only needed to buy 1 bag. 1 bag was enough. I also went to PetSmart, got a bag of, I got 2 bags actually of fluorite for the clay. And we ended up using 1 bag. And I got 3 bags of the top fin gravel. The name of it was Pebble Beach. It's like the smallest type gravel that they had. I mean, and it is small, and I think it's perfect. I didn't want large gravel. I want something the roots from the plants are going to be able to get through. So basically, what I did was I set the tank up. I had to, with the potting mix, and I'm going to tell you now, since I have never used the Miracle-Gro, I don't know what its composition is like. But I know from watching other videos, from the forums and stuff, that people say you always got to sift through the soil. You want to make sure you're getting out any big wood chips and stuff that are in there, or any other foreign materials that you don't want to put into your tank. So I had a colander. I had a drainer, and I tried to use that to go through the soil. Well, let me tell you, the soil was really moist, and the colander, the holes weren't big enough to get the dirt to go through it. Maybe it would have been better if the soil was dry, but because it was wet, I wasn't able to force the dirt through it. So pretty much I spent a couple of hours going through that one bag of potting mix, just breaking it up and feeling through it. I was using a big spoon and churning it up and going through it and pulling out all the wood chips. And if you go and you look at the pictures, you're going to see what I pulled out of the soil that I didn't put into my tank. So I did do about 1.5 inches. That 32-quart bag actually gave me maybe 1.5 inches, maybe even a little more level of dirt across the bottom of the tank. I made sure I packed it down good. Didn't want any air pockets in it or anything like that. So then after I did that, then I got the fluorite to put on top of that. Well, word of warning, and please go look at my pictures because I show it in one of the pictures. I took the fluorite and I put it in a bucket, and I only did like maybe half the bag in the bucket, and I rinsed it. The water was so dirty. The fluorite bag says no need to rinse, will not cloud water more than, like a couple of hours for your filters to clean it out. No, don't believe it. I don't care. I love Seacam, I love their products, and I love fluorite. But just do not believe that you don't need to rinse it. You do need to rinse it, okay? So there's a picture. You'll see it. I mean, you'll see my white tub with the dirt on it from the fluorite. You'll see the bucket with the water in it and how dirty that water looks. You can't even see the fluorite inside the bucket. And I really had to rinse it and rinse it and rinse it and rinse it and do it over and over and over again. So then what I did was I took that fluorite and then I did another layer across in the center. You can't really tell on the video, but I did a layer of fluorite evenly across the whole sand bed, the dirt bed. I just put all the fluorite. Then after that, then I took the Pebble Beach gravel and I rinsed that. That really didn't need to be rinsed that well. I really wasn't getting much off of it. So I did a quick rinse on that, got it into the tank, and I probably have about a good 1.5 inches, I've got about 1 inch of gravel in the front, going toward the back, where it probably goes up to about 1.5 inches to 2 inches of gravel going toward the back, to cap that dirt, because it's very important that you cap the dirt. If not, the dirt's going to come up and it's going to dirty the water on you. And then you may have to, rip it all out and start all over again. And I wouldn't want to see you do that. I did that with the 20 that I set up when I tried to dirt that. I had it such a mess because I didn't cap it enough that when I filled it, I was just like, I gave up. I did like 2 water changes on it, and it was still just as dirty as could be, that I ended up just dumping the 20 and starting over with Eco Complete fluorite that I already had. So I turned around after I did the gravel, got the gravel in there. Now, I have a 125 tank that is sitting in the garage. It's been sitting there for 4 years. It used to be set up, that used to be my planted tank years ago, until I moved to this house, and then I didn't have a place to put it. So it's been sitting. Well, my niece wants to put it up and do it as a saltwater tank now. So I should be doing videos on that soon, but that'll be another video. I went down into the garage because I wanted to go and see, I needed my light fixture from my old 55 gallon that I wanted to put on this tank. So I went to the garage to get it, and lo and behold, underneath the 125 I had a tote. In that tote I had a whole bunch of driftwood from the old 125 that I had totally forgotten all about. because I totally had nothing to decorate or do any kind of aquascaping with in this tank when I set it up. So I was like, oh wow. So I just basically did a quick rinse off of all the driftwood, get the dust off of it, because it had been sitting in the garage for 4 years. Really didn't do any soaking, just rinsed it off. I then set that in the way I wanted it set up on top of the gravel. Played around with it a little bit till I got it to the way I wanted it to look. I then turned around and got the bag that the gravel came in, and I laid it back here on the gravel. And then I got my hose to fill my tank, and I put it in on top of the bag. Now the bag I actually took, if I can explain it, and I bent it up the side and then across the bottom. So it was kind of like this, the bag. And then I laid the hose facing in this way toward the side wall, toward the bag. And then I put a piece of driftwood over the hose to hold it in place, and then I filled the tank very slowly. You don't want to take a bucket of water and pour it in because you don't want to disturb your gravel bed. If you disturb that gravel bed, you're going to bring up that soil and dirty your tank, so you don't want to do that. You're best taking a gravel bag or something else that you can put the hose into, or to prevent the hose from going down into your gravel and disturbing it. And I filled the tank. And you'll see in the pictures, if you go check them out, after I got done filling it, the water was perfect. It was like crystal clear. I was like, oh wow, did I luck out or what? But I also knew over the next few hours the soil would be leaching out nutrients, tannins, whatever. So I knew something could happen to the tank. So needless to say, I got it set up that night. I put my filters on, and I went to bed. Woke up the next morning, the tank was a cloudy mess. I mean, it was orangey, it was dark, it was cloudy. I was, hey, wow, I need to do a water change. And when you first set up a dirted tank, you are going to have to do quite a few water changes till you get the water to clear up. Currently, right now, we're on day 6, and I've only done one complete water change where I thoroughly emptied the tank out and then refilled it. Today, as you can see, looking at the water, it's still cloudy, a little bit hazy. I plan on doing like a 50% water change today on the tank. What I did after that day when I woke up the second day, and saw how cloudy it was, and I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to let it go. The day that I purchased my tank was a Sunday, and I wasn't picking the tank up until Monday and setting it up. But Sunday night, what I did afterwards, I got home, I went online, and I ordered my plants. Because one of the things you should do after you dirt your tank is try to heavily plant it. The plants will enjoy all that nutrients. They'll help to suck up some of those extra nutrients that soil is putting out. In the beginning, you don't need to fertilize. You don't need CO2. Your plants are going to be getting a lot of nutrients from that fresh soil that you put in there. So that's what I did. I ordered the plants. I knew that they were going to ship on Wednesday, and I knew I was going to receive them on Thursday. So the tank got set up on Monday. So I let the tank sit, let the filters run from Monday up until Thursday. I came home from work. My plants were here. They had been shipped. I got pictures of that also over at Fired Up Fish Tanks. So that night, I drained the tank completely down to the gravel. Emptied out all that old cloudy water, planted the tank, and then I turned around and refilled it again of course, you're just putting fresh water into it, so it was crystal clear, it was beautiful. Woke up the next morning, and the tank was a little cloudy again. Kind of about the same as to what it is, excuse me, right now. It really hasn't, it's actually less cloudy now than it was after, which is coming from the filters. So on day 3, I planted it. So now here we are at day 6. I need to do another water change. I also have a couple of plants up here and back there that are kind of floating up. They shouldn't be. They're valves. I'm going to do another video where I'm really going to, or the second part of this video, because I don't want to make it too long. I'm going to go through the different plants and what I'm doing, and what I have in here. Some came from my 20, and I'll explain what has happened to the 20. I still have it, it's still set up, I just moved it into my nephew's room. I've made that his tank, although I'm the one who's going to be taking care of it, because he's only 10. And his whole thing about taking care of fish is he just wants to feed them. So, as long as he doesn't overfeed them, I'm happy. So, for right now, I'm going to go. I'll be back, because I'm going to get this water change started, get it done, and then come back and show you a little more detail and everything on the tank, and explain more about what I did, how I did it, the filters that are set up, and why I have them set up. So, stay tuned. We'll be back. Okay, so we got the water change in process for part 2. As you can see, I have my gravel vac down there. It is sucking out the water, and I'll take you along the route, and then it's going right into the bathroom. Don't mind the kids' clothes on the floor. I don't. And hooked up to the sink. I can shut the water off, and I have flow coming from the tank. If I turn the water back on, then my flow from the tank's a little bit clearer, a little bit faster. So right now, we've drained about that much from the tank. I'm going to go ahead, keep doing this water change, and then I'm going to come back and show y'all after I fill it. Alright, we'll be back. Okay, so we're still in the process of doing the water change. I've probably at about 60% of the water in the tank. I think I'm going to go down another inch or two, and then I'm going to restart the filling process on the tank.